Well, you do it because, like, all things considered, like, if you're the guy in that equation, you don't have to actually do that much work.
It's true. Say that.
You get to be like, all right, see ya. Although, from everything I read, like Nick Cannon, like the checks clear without fail every month
Yeah.
for the various children. But like
But how did he pull
12
it
children,
off?
how can you even like, you could barely tell them apart.
I know we're going by like we have to go by like by numbers at that point. Numbers 1 and 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you have what's her names? The ones that are all pedophiles now.
The Duggars.
The Duggars, yes.
Unfortunately, I did know exactly what you were talking about.
Yes. I'm not saying that Nick Cannon's children are all going to wind up being pedophiles. I highly doubt it, actually.
It's not common practice anymore, and for good reason.
No.
Isn't there like a John Mulaney bit about how the reason that they don't do that anymore, or the reason that they used to do it that way, was because half of them would end up dying from like
Yes.
illness and like weather.
Yes.
Well, also,
yes, one of many reasons.
There weren't like reliable contraceptives.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, well, that's like, that's like all the Kennedys had 9,000 children.
Well, I don't think that was due to the lack of contraceptives.
No. That was due to the presence of Irish Catholicism.
That and like the pact their ancient ancestors made with that witch to curse their family for a lifetime.
But it's like that's like RFK had like 11 children.
Yeah.
Like, can
well,
you
and
imagine?
JFK would have had more, and
Yeah.
probably did have more that we just don't know about.
Yeah, he definitely had like at least probably like 3 secret children.
Yeah.
Wow, they didn't cover that in Love Story, JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette.
And his many.
Kara's been all in on that.
Listen, I'm also under its spell.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Hell of a show. Listen, do I recommend it? 100%. Is it good? That's not the point. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm like having like a sort of anti-hype reaction to it.
Sure, that makes sense.
Like I'm just like, okay, like I get it.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll give in.
It's very compelling, in my opinion. It's sort of it's a TV show in that it is a collection of scenes that air in 1 hour intervals.
Yes.
You know.
Well, I think what you mean is it's a Ryan Murphy program.
Yeah, but it's like the least Ryan Murphy of the Ryan Murphy things I've watched, because he's not the creator. He's just like an EP, so he hasn't like he didn't write or direct any of the episodes.
Oh, well, that's how you know the quality will be better.
Well, there are some times when the Ryan Murphy jumps out. I think I told you about the scene where Naomi Watts as Jackie Kennedy is
it's so crazy that's her.
Chain smoking, dancing to holding a portrait of JFK and dancing to Camelot.
I don't think that if you're Naomi Watts, like one of our more famous blondes, that you should be playing Jackie Kennedy, one of our most famous brunettes. There's something that's wrong
convincing.
about that to me.
There's great wig work. She does the accent. It all works out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is she better than Natalie Portman?
Oh, they're doing totally different things.
Okay. I guess it's like 30 years later. In the story.
Like she's playing like right before she dies.
Yeah. Is she like, oh my God, I'm editing so many books.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And she's like, she's doing just enough of an accent to tell, so that it like reads as Jackie, but it's sort of like doing her interpretation of Jackie. Whereas I felt like Natalie was like, no, I'm going for authenticity.
Right.
And is like very mannered in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find those movies intolerable. Both that and the
Princess
Diana one.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm not sure I would say intolerable, but I'm not far away from there. They're like so boring.
Yeah, there's just sort of art films. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
basically they're like not any better than like a perfume ad. You know what I mean?
Well, they're just like, oh, what if you just want to watch like Princess Di like float into various rooms for an hour and a half, and also she sees ghosts.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
like,
who among us?
that's like a 10-minute situation for me. But wait,
Yeah.
there's another 2 hours.
Yeah, short film ass. Anyway,
Anyway,
let's talk about
you know what ghosts I'm seeing?
Oh,
The ghosts of the Iraq War
oh shit!
wow.
coming back to haunt us again.
Hardcore
in Iran.
quality transition.
Excellent segue. Let me do the opening. We'll get right into it. Welcome to Discourse Pod, the podcast where we discuss the discourse, brought to you by Discourse Blog. Jack is here.
Hoi hoi.
Producer Sam on the keys. And joining us back in the third chair, Jack Crosbie. Welcome back.
Hello. Good
Hi,
to be
Cros.
here.
It's been too long.
Way too long.
It's been a
and
while. It's been a long winter.
We
It
wanted
has.
you back as soon as the war broke out, but you were I guess busy.
Yeah.
So
You had what
Thankful-
the experts call a life.
Yeah.
yeah. But now
Yeah.
that we're all of let's see, checks notes. What is it? 3-4 weeks into the war?
3, I want to
Three?
say.
God, I don't
Yeah.
even know.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're doing genocide, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and also like it's hard to know because Trump keeps being like, "No, it's over."
It's over.
And then he's like, "Wait, no, we've got another
Wait.
3 days. Wait, no,
Just
it's
kidding. No,
done."
now it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that tweet this morning or something like that was like summing up
Yeah,
a
was
press
it
conference
the
that
Kate
he
Wagner
did
tweet?
earlier. Yeah, which
Yeah.
was like at 12:03 p.m. President Trump told reporters he wanted a ceasefire with Iran. At 12:05 he declared victory. At 12:07 he announced he was sending Marines. At 12:08 he said no boots on the ground. At 12:11 he said he did not want a ceasefire. At 12:16 he declared victory again. At 12:17 he asked for a ceasefire. At 12:23 he told NATO they were cowards, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Like,
Amazing.
yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, like that.
I mean, for
in a
our
certain
Discourse
sense-
Blog's official war correspondent, Jack Crosbie, to say he doesn't know what's going on with this war, that really tells you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw there was a really good video breakdown by my buddy Max Fisher, who has gone from writing for the New York Times to podcast world to now YouTuber world, and is doing like sort of these like
Where have I heard that before?
yeah, exactly. But he did a really good sort of sober breakdown of and I'll kind of summarize it here. But you should definitely check out if you just search Max Fisher on YouTube. It's his latest video. He did a really good breakdown of like the 4 main kind of actors that want this war and their various different reasons and like motivations, and they're also their like ideal outcome. And what I think he like really smartly broke down is that there are at least 4 different points of view, all of whom wanted the war, but they all want different things out of it, and no one of them is really calling the shots. I think it's very easy, like looking top line on this war, to be like, this is something that Israel wanted, and the US is just kind of doing it on their behalf. But Max's video was the first thing that I had seen that like really split apart the fact that like Israel wants this war. Yes. The US is waging it on their behalf. Yes, sort of. But Trump also wants this war. And the third actor that I think we hadn't really considered quite as much in this is the Gulf states, who actually wanted this war too. They had been pushing for this for a long time. Mohammed bin Salman, the leader of Saudi Arabia, was even like had been privately lobbying like Kushner for like months, and Lindsey Graham, to like get Trump to go into Iran. But that all 3 of those groups, like Netanyahu, the Gulf states generally, in Saudi Arabia, and Trump, all have like weird conflicting different objectives of what they want. Like Trump very clearly just wanted to go in and do Venezuela again. He was like, I'm just going to off the Ayatollah and things are going to be peachy and everyone's going to be like, wow, your guys were so strong and so brave when they dropped a cruise missile from 50,000 feet on the Ayatollah. And, you know, Netanyahu, of course, wants to like essentially conquer and fully crush Iran as a state as we know it and set it up as sort of like a, new Shah client state of Israel, essentially. And the Gulf leaders all want some sort of like disarmament of Iran's like sort of military control over the region, but they don't want a full like sort of regime change. And all of these things have all combined to just mean that like we have an absolute clusterfuck of a war of a whole bunch of different people that all want different things. And the only thing they can agree on is that they should all be bombing Iran a whole bunch. But what happens after that is kind of, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like all of the non-Trump forces, I mean, broadly speaking, we are seeing in real time exactly why, even though like every administration over the last couple of decades really has like sort of sounded the same notes about Iran, to varying degrees. None of them were like, oh, let's actually invade.
Right.
Because it was always very obviously like incredibly fucking stupid to think that you could just like bomb the Iranian regime into nothingness, or that you could just sort of take over a vast country of 90 plus million people and like a very, very like robust military of its own, in 3 seconds. So I think like for people like Netanyahu or the Saudis or any of like Iran's sort of regional enemies, like when Trump comes along, you're like, thank God someone who's stupid enough
Right.
like to like go along with this and like fulfill all of my dreams. But the problem with that is that Trump is really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And
We're saying it
like,
more and more.
and so like, yeah, like he's dumb enough to get you into this, but he's also really dumb. And so like, God help you in terms of getting out of it,
Yeah.
and like, obviously someone like Netanyahu is in like an incredibly sort of nihilistic person. He doesn't really care in a lot of ways. Like if there's endless sort of death and destruction in Iran, but they do need like the United States, to have some sort of like plausible path through. And very clearly there isn't one, because like Trump is a complete fool. I think I saw him today being
I
like,
mean, we're losing. We're like objectively
yes,
losing.
absolutely.
And by
I think
basically every metric of like accomplishing any goals that we had when we
right.
started the war, we're losing. Other than like we've killed a lot of Iranian leaders, right? But there hasn't even been like we killed the Ayatollah and then it was like, oh, who's the new Ayatollah? It's his son.
Right.
Like,
Right.
okay, great job. You just replace him with a younger version. Like it's
who's now extra mad because you just killed his
father
and his wife.
Yeah.
Like typical stupidity. I mean, I think I saw Trump either like today or yesterday being like, yeah, everyone was surprised when like they started attacking, when Iran started attacking these other countries. Like nobody could have seen that coming. And it's like, as ever, I'm like, I know nothing, but
And
I
I
would
knew
have seen
that.
that coming. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're gonna do the obvious thing
We
that
didn't
like,
think they would close the Strait of Hormuz, the massive geopolitically important geographic feature that they have a unique amount of military control over. We never
yes,
thought that they would do that.
right. And now here's this was from today. Trump to Caitlin Collins from CNN on who would control the Strait of Hormuz in any deal. Jointly controlled, he said. By whom? Trump. Maybe me, maybe me and the Ayatollah, whoever the Ayatollah is. It's like, okay, so they've gone from like, all right, like you're done, to maybe we'll jointly control the strait together as friends. It's like, I think that's probably a sign that things are not going the way you would prefer them to go if you're Donald Trump.
You know what? There is a very clear way out for Iran here. And it's like, and it that preserves all of the gains that they've already made and probably, even realizes new ones for them. And it's that this new Ayatollah needs to meet with Trump and have a Mamdani moment. He needs to go in and be really charming and say, Mr. Trump, you are big and strong and your missiles have shaken us to our core. However, we are also the lions of Persia and we are big and strong as well. So why don't we come together in the middle and shake our strong hands over the Strait of Hormuz?
He needs to give him a fake Daily News, Trump. Trump, man of peace
in the Middle East. Just give him a fake New York Post that just says peace in the Middle East.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and do a fake Nobel Peace Prize that actually has his name on it instead of the one that he had to get from what's her name,
FIFA.
The Venezuelan lady. And the FIFA one. I mean, it's just so fucking deranged. Everywhere you look, and I mean, obviously, a lot of this is down to Trump's particular stupidity and lack of interest in making any kinds of plans. But also, Cros, you said that Iraq is making a comeback, etc. Obviously, these were very different conflicts in so many ways, but there is the very clear connection between both of these things, which is the endless assumption from US the US military or US policymakers that only the United States or its allies are capable of doing things. Iran would never be capable of responding or having plans of its own, or having anticipated this might happen because the United States and Israel keep bombing it 3 times a year now. And they're wait a minute, Iran also has some control over how this situation goes. Nobody told me that was possible. And it's it's always possible. There are people on the other side of this thing. Hello, people can do things.
Well, and the other big difference between this and Iraq is that Iran is, in the simplest Trumpian terms, stronger than Iraq was. Iraq, we had
much
a big, nice land border with Kuwait. We sent all our brave Marines down there. And the initial invasion of Iraq in 2003 was really easy. We steamrolled right through everything. We took basically the entire country in
it
a
took,
couple of
3
weeks.
Yeah,
something like that. We took all of Baghdad. Saddam got captured and put on trial almost immediately. And that was that. And that's and what people are saying is that you A, can't do that in Iran. B, you can't accomplish what the invasion of Iraq accomplished, which was complete regime change, without invading Iran with actual boots on the ground, which would be absolutely disastrous because it would not be easy. We would not be able to our Marines couldn't just, get in Humvees and make a whole bunch of really good TV shows and movies later about how they drove really fast across the desert straight into Baghdad and didn't really have to do anything along the way. And that's just not going to happen. So it doesn't really give us a whole lot of options to accomplish anything at this point.
Yeah, and it's also the other sort of big error that always gets made in these instances, mostly because of imperial hubris and racism, is if we just kill some of the Iranian leaders, the regime will fold and everyone will rise up. It's okay, what if someone assassinated Donald Trump, hypothetically? What it would the United States immediately crumble? No, someone would take his place. Like, would people immediately be like, well, I guess we got to overthrow the government? No, they would be like, oh, like, let's not have this foreign country trying to destroy the place where we live. Um, you know, but it's like we always have this mindset that like only people, like us, so to speak, are capable of these very obvious human reactions. But everybody on the other side of these things is just going to immediately, like fold in a way that, like, if you think about it for 2 seconds, like you never would if that was where you were from or if that was your country or government. Like, that's not how human beings operate. And now Donald Trump is finding that out every single day as he changes his mind 45 times. Cros, I wanted to ask you what you make of like this weird stuff about Trump going, oh, we're in negotiations now to end things, and Iran being like, that's bullshit. Trump is trying to buy time. Like, what do you think is happening there? And in general, do you have any sense of where this might be headed?
What is happening there? Not a whole lot, I don't think, especially as like Israel essentially indicated today that whoever the Iranians send to negotiate, they'll just kill. So, like, this is what they did. They took out a different negotiating team in when they struck something in, I think it was Doha or something like that. I do think that like really the only winner in all of this is Israel in terms of there not being negotiations. They're operating from a sort, and I'm kind of like free associating now, but like they're operating from a somewhat similar perspective as like Russia is in terms of peace talks with Ukraine, in that Israel at the moment, I mean, Russia obviously has committed enormous amounts of national resources to this project. Also the two wars, Russia and Ukraine and US, Israel versus Iran, are not really comparable in terms of scale or commitments from either side, really. Obviously, it's horrible and devastating to the Iranian people, but like it's, a ground invasion and mobilization of like literally millions of people is different than, air campaigns. But Israel is negotiating kind of from the same position, which is that they can sort of keep this up indefinitely. And right now, I mean, it's really Israel also has Netanyahu has just like a much firmer hold on his own domestic political infrastructure than Trump has. Like, it is entirely possible that the GOP just gets absolutely wiped out in the coming midterms because this is deeply unpopular. It's not really as much of the case for Netanyahu. And even if it is, like, he has just so much of a sort of firmer hold over.
Well, and also, like, anyone who would replace him has basically the exact same position on Iran and on, carrying out this war as he does.
And there's no incentive for him to ever want anyone in Iran from Netanyahu's worldview, obviously, to ever let anyone in Iran have a healthy or safe or fortuitous life in any way. Like the more death and destruction that happens in Iran, like he's good with it. And if he can keep his other sort of sometimes reluctant regional allies in the Gulf states and the United States just continuing to pour their own resources into this, like, why would he seek a peace terms? I guess unless he eventually gets hit by the knock-on effects of like what I'm starting to get increasingly worried about and know even less about, because while I am a war guy, I am not an economy guy. And when war things start to affect economy, I get out of my depth extremely quickly. And that does appear very much like what we're headed into. Like, the stock market is down over the past couple of weeks enormously, and everything I was seeing, like I went kind of in a like doom scrolling hole last night, reading last night, and it did appear as though, like, if the price of oil keeps going up and global trade continues to be sort of disrupted, like if the strait is closed for another week, like it's going to crater absolutely everything.
Oh,
Mostly
this is
because weirdly
already
the AI bubble is going to pop
naturally
because
because
the
everything
prices
is
of oil is
connected and
it's
wonderful.
and the processors and microchips that are kind of funding like fueling the AI are already there's like some scarcity in those markets as well. And now that like when cost of transportation because of oil prices are going up massively and they just physically like can't get them certain places with the strait closed, like that's gonna and then we're gonna like all of those AI companies that have been promising returns and like backing them by like look how fast our computers can boop um are gonna suddenly realize that like they've been propped up by billions and billions and dollars of essentially nothing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, I think it's already been deemed like the biggest oil shock in the history of like the modern like oil industry. Like worse even than in the 1970s.
Gas. It's giving 1970s
Yeah.
out of gas signs.
Yeah, and I feel like I mean, to a certain extent, like I think all three of us live in New York City, like where like the influence of cars and the effect that like, that driving has on your life is lower than basically anywhere else in the United States. So you don't quite get the same sort of feeling about um like what it means from day to day, but that's not the case for the vast majority of people.
Yeah, let's
um
check in with producer Sam. Producer Sam, how much has gas gone up in the last couple weeks in Texas?
yeah, Sam is saying I think I paid $50 for a fill up just recently, like
like
closer to 30.
30.
Jesus.
Holy shit. All right, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's almost like 50% more.
I mean,
Or
I
almost a couple
saw
of
like
weeks.
Almost twice as
with
much
the
more, I
caveat
mean.
that like Chevron is always crazy, but like there was a picture going around from LA or something like that that like had like regular unleaded at a Chevron. I think it was like a Chevron near the airport, so take it with a grain of salt, but it was like higher than $8 a gallon or something
Yeah.
like that.
Jesus.
I mean,
Would be
California,
yeah.
the price of gas is always absolutely insane.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, the worst it ever was in sort of like the height of both Iraq and Afghanistan, which I remember because it was right about when I started driving to school consistently.
Yeah.
It was like, oh 06, 07, 2008, and that was like it was regularly like 4.50, sometimes more than $5 a gallon. I remember I was like driving like $20 bill to $20 bill and getting like 3 or 4 gallons. And yeah, it's gonna be double that, I guess. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, luckily, we're moving away from reliance on fossil fuels, so it's great. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
no
saw.
worries there.
I don't know if you saw today the news that the Trump administration is paying France's biggest oil company $1 billion not to build wind farms, like off the eastern seaboard, and so that they will instead, like invest in oil.
Of which there is plenty in an abundant amount. There are no supply issues at all. All's good.
Everything is great.
Speaking of things going great, what's something everyone would love to experience at the airport? Typically the worst place to ever spend any waking minute. What if ICE agents were there at the same time TSA lines, including an insane video I saw today of people, the TSA line on LaGuardia today starts outside at the curb.
yeah,
Well, I mean that.
So
To be fair, that's like for multiple reasons because they just had the giant accident there.
that
yeah, there was a
and the
crazy
government,
accident last night.
yeah,
Well,
and the
but
government
those
shut
lines have been
down.
crazy everywhere. Like
Yeah.
I was talking to a bunch of people at the Rolling Stone offices last week that had just come back from South by Southwest because it is now it's owned by Penske Media, which is Rolling Stone's parent company. So everyone is down there. But
Thank
like
you for the proper
the
disclosure.
videos coming out of the Austin airport were like they were lined out like down the highway outside of the airport, essentially.
Yeah. And now let's add ICE agents to the mix of all that. How about why not? The airports are more crowded than they've ever been. Everyone's really unhappy. I'm sure ticket prices have not been affected at all by oil shortage. Now let's add some, murdering goons to the
Right.
mix.
Right. That's what I love
That
the
are just like
most about the
standing
airport.
around making
Yeah.
things go even slower. Like I
Yeah.
saw those videos of them at like SFO, and they're all just
Yeah.
like they're just like standing there. It's like the enforcement removal officers or something like that, the ERO people, and like they're just I don't know if you guys saw that horrible video of like the arrest at SFO where there was like a
Yeah.
woman who they were just arresting, and yeah, but like I've seen so many other videos of them just like standing around there, and it's like you're not helping TSA. Like you're not
Yeah.
like you're standing around in your body armor. Like you don't need body armor on. You were just like you need to wand more people through the scanners. Like
Well,
give us the
yeah.
plastic bins. That is what you need to do.
I mean, this is where I think like the fact that particularly under like the second Trump administration, like ICE very deliberately like choosing to like over index on like only stupid people really sort of comes into play. It's like you are getting people who like intelligence is not the reason that they have their jobs. Like their willingness to like blindly terrorize and murder people is the reason that they have their job. And that does not translate into like, oh, could you please hand your like ID over for 2 seconds while we see if it matches your boarding pass. And like what are they like what do you expect these people to do? They're literally not equipped for any kind of human behavior except like brutalizing people. And like so of course they get there like what if I'm working for TSA? I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I'm really glad I have you now to help me out. I would be like, please stand over there. Like everyone hates you. You're scaring people. And all you're doing is making my job more difficult. I mean, it's really quite something to have like a group of people that can make you like feel some kind of residual fondness for the TSA agents.
Yeah. You're really in a low moment when you're feeling wistful and nostalgic for the regular old TSA guys.
Right. It's just like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm so excited to travel this summer. I want to stand in line through security for 2 hours, and then at any point I could be murdered.
Right.
By ICE. So
yeah.
Plus, there's no baggage. Also, I had to pay for baggage. Also, your flight got canceled. Also, you have to buy a plane. I'm sure they'll come up with something.
The LaGuardia thing was crazy. My coworker at The Nation was flying into LaGuardia
when it happened. Yeah,
like or was about to, and then apparently they got on like the intercom and they were like, LaGuardia is closed, like all of it. So we got to go to JFK. I mean, thank God JFK was right there and like available. But like, can you imagine being like, sorry, the airport is closed. Like,
yeah,
what?
we're really on dark days. It's hard to know which is the worst New York City airport at this point. It's just
it
definitely
changes
day by day.
No,
well,
I mean,
and then
if you're going New York area,
you
definitely
can't
Newark.
you can't compare anything to Newark.
Yeah.
Newark Airport, one of the bleakest places that you will ever step foot in your life. I actually haven't been to LaGuardia since they made it nice.
Oh, it's amazing.
LaGuardia is fine. LaGuardia is fine now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even JFK isn't. I mean, the construction in JFK. Kara and I have been just taking the train there, like almost every time we go now because it's way faster than taking a car in.
You mean are you getting on the Long Island Railroad?
No, we live right off the A train.
Oh,
so
okay.
we take the A train straight out to Howard Beach, and then we can get on Air Train from there.
Oh yeah. No, listen, like real ones know, don't take a cab or a car to or from JFK unless it's like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, like
because
late at
it's not
night
worth
we'll
it.
take a car home. Yeah. But they also at JFK they moved like the ride app pickup thing. You have
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
get on the air train and ride the air train for like 20 minutes to get to the Uber and Lyft parking lot.
Yeah,
Which
Yeah.
no, it's
actually,
unbelievable.
leftistly, I think that's good because you know what is actually still right at the terminal is the regular yellow cab station.
The
Yeah.
cab line,
So if you
yeah.
want to get a car from the airport, you just get in a yellow cab.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's usually cheaper anyway now. Like
Yeah,
Uber and
well,
Lyft have gotten so much more
yeah.
expensive. Like the taxi cab, like $50 or $60 flat fee is usually cheaper than the Uber you're gonna like ride the air train 20 minutes to get.
Yeah.
So
The thing that changed my life is the Long Island Railroad going to the east side of Manhattan, which is where I live. You know, because you used to have to go to Penn Station if you wanted to catch the train
Ugh.
like that. But now you just go to Grand Central. It takes like
Yeah.
20 minutes. It costs $5, and then you're already at
Wow.
Grand Central.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
Like,
you're
life
yeah, and
changing.
a much preferable experience over Penn Station.
Over Penn Station or over like
Or-
taking the A train or the E train, like from the
For 20
very
years.
edge
Yeah.
of Queens all the way
Yeah.
into the city.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
easy for us because we're pretty far east on the A
Yeah.
train. And so it's like it takes us it's less than an hour door to gate usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we take the train. So
Anyway,
Anyway,
all of
Anyway.
our listeners and viewers will be thrilled.
We just did the
by
New
this
York
very
version.
relatable conversation.
We just did the New York version of the SNL LA
Yes.
freeways bit.
Yes,
Like,
Yeah.
we
the
did.
fog. I took the 101. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm off
mean,
the train, but like if you can get the LIRR, like, whoa.
all I had left on our on the doc this week, midterms check-in / update.
Do we think the tally man's gonna win? Tallarico, the big tally boy?
Well, we've been talking about this.
I
TBD.
say no.
I
Yeah,
think
you can't ever predict a win in Texas.
Yeah,
I say
Yeah,
no
I think-
purely
I think-
because it's Texas.
I think no, but a squeaker. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll probably be close, but who knows? Maybe it'll
Who
happen,
knows?
but I don't think
maybe
it'll
like
happen.
I think it needs to be like a wave, like a nationwide wave, unprecedented. You know what I mean? For like for him to really carry. But
Yeah. Well,
We gotta
I
get- well-
mean, it might be
I know
kind
that
of
like
might be
nationwide
Beto's
it
just
might
like
be.
looking at him, and Beto's like, if I had only preached instead of skateboarded. Like,
yeah, I mean, not no. I find him more tolerable than Beto. I won't lie.
Well, he hasn't
Um,
been on the cover of Vanity Fair saying I'm destined to be president. So
yeah.
that's a big like check.
Do we know? Has anyone
him.
asked Tallarico if he feels like he was just born to be in it? You know?
It could
if
be-
no one
could
has,
be you.
we should.
That'd be us, yeah.
Yeah, no, it could
You should
be.
pick-
I feel
Actually,
like,
I talked to one of his press guys a while ago, but
There you
didn't
go.
end up doing anything with them.
I mean, get him on the cover of Rolling Stone.
That's what I'm saying. You should hit up your Rolling Stone people. And be
yeah,
like,
well,
"Hey."
yeah. Beto got Vanity Fair. That's true. No, Rolling Stone covers. Wow, what a time those are. I saw last time I was in the office. Big X the Plug was in there, which was really cool. I like him. They were doing the thing where, I guess this is another aside that I'm not sure if our listeners will care about at all, but at the Rolling Stone offices, which I work out of occasionally, every like Tuesday, Wednesday, it's kind of unclear. Artists will like regularly come through the offices. And
Yeah.
what they do, despite it being the offices of Rolling Stone magazine, there's no like actual like studio or anything. There's just like a big conference room that is like kind of in the middle, like right when you walk out of the elevators. And they always go in there to play like snippets of whatever new album they have. And they play them, it's roughly at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon when everyone's kind of like in their slow, like post lunch, but like I really need to crank out my last thing for the day. And they play snippets of a new album at absolutely full volume, almost never a complete song, almost always just like 30-second clips of a new song. And I've also been told, I haven't like directly like heard this, but the sound system in that room is both terrible and constantly malfunctions. Like the
Perfect.
Bluetooth disconnects or something like that. So it's always, you just get like blaring like minute-long clips of a new song while a room of like literally 20 people around a giant conference room table just like listens to them. And it's always a
Rolling
very
Stone have
strange.
better sound than that.
Yeah.
They should. Well, their plans are in the works for there to be like a new. They're making a new studio in one of the
Okay.
other things
Wow.
where they'll be able to do this.
Wow,
It's gonna
Scoop.
get better, I think.
Yeah, Gus,
but
get on it.
Yeah.
Get it together, Gus.
Wow, Max Tani over
Yeah.
here with the media scoop.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
but
keeping it-
anyway,
we're
Big
keeping
X
this
the
in, by the
Plug was
way.
in there. He was on the cover. We love Big X the Plug. The snippets of the 30-second snippets of whatever new project he has coming out sounded good from what I could hear of them, like 2 rooms away through many glass doors.
Well, you heard it here first.
You know.
And through the static.
But yeah, that's I guess that's what you got to do. So unless Tallarico is gonna come in here with a new mixtape, I don't think he's getting a cover of a major magazine anytime soon.
No, unless it's Vanity Fair. Well, I
This
mean,
is
I
like
get-
an industry-wide, like that Beto cover would never happen now.
No,
Like almost
way.
never.
No,
This is like an
certainly not.
industry-wide thing now that like covers, because every magazine is printing fewer issues every year, covers have gotten like so much more competitive, even though every magazine is doing like digital covers now and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's not the same as like a print cover thing. And
Yeah.
because like the print cover is really the only thing that actually matters to real celebrities now, because everything else they can, like, if they get featured in Rolling Stone, it's nice, especially for up and coming artists. But like the big artists or people that already have huge like social followings, they don't really care. Like I've tried to profile numerous people for the magazine who have just been like, can we get it? Like we'll do it if we can get a cover. And every time it's like, no, like you're not, it's like the entire like B tier and even like lower, like even if you're a celebrity A-lister, if you're not like there's like 10 magazines every year for each of these publications. Like they're not, so there's this weird like thing of where everyone, like every celebrity wants to be like, oh, I'm cover story only, but it's like, but you're not, no one is ever going to do a cover story on you. And that's like firmly where like Beto O'Rourke would be now. Like I'm picturing the editorial meeting where someone was like, what if we put Beto on the cover? And now it would just be like, that's not.
Yeah, they would get laughed out.
That's
of
not
the
a
room.
thing. That's not happening.
that.
Weirdly,
Yeah.
like fewer magazines has resulted in the covers being a genuine legitimizing tool for the right personality and celebrity. So I mean, I bet does the New York Times Magazine still do covers? I bet Tallarico could pull one of those.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
who cares about the New York Times Magazine cover?
I
That's the
know.
thing.
Right.
Like, no,
because nobody
there-
sees it. It doesn't sit on
Yeah.
newsstands. It comes out in
Anymore.
like an insert in
Yeah.
like
The Sunday issue.
the Sunday
Yeah.
Times.
Yeah,
or
there
whatever,
hasn't been
yeah.
a good New York Times Magazine cover since they photoshopped Hillary Clinton into that
It's a
like
planet.
crazy
Yeah.
like ball of teeth.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
You remember that?
Did you never see that cover?
I don't
You
remember
know-
this. No.
You'll
when
know
you see
it
it, you'll
when
remember.
I show it to you.
We'll put it
Um,
up on the screen as well.
Yeah,
for
New
people
York
watching at
Times
home.
Mag.
Wait, speaking of
Uh,
Max Tanny, did you all see that story about how like Vox?
Oh my God,
tried-
Planet Hillary.
Yes.
You don't remember
I
this?
see it now. No.
Oh my
what?
goodness.
You totally missed
Fuck
this?
is this? What the fuck is
That's for you,
No, this
Sam.
is January 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I had just moved back to New York at that time.
Yeah. No, this was like a huge. I mean, I think she was.
This is a
so
meme.
pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. No, the only
Producer
the-
Sam, you gotta throw that up on
Yeah.
on the video when we're talking
No,
about this.
apart from all the Nation
wow.
magazine covers, which are all great. But like the only good
wow.
the only good magazine cover I've seen recently is the well, was this the cover or I don't know if it was the cover actually, the Wired one on the gay tech mafia.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Shout out Katie Drummond.
Yeah.
Doing a great job running Wired.
Yeah, which like everyone got so mad about because they're all idiots. But I was like, that's how it's done. Yeah, I mean, Beto would not get a cover or anything near to a cover. And side note, like digital covers, I think are the biggest joke that like the internet ever produced. It's like
It's the most
doesn't count.
insulting thing. Yeah.
It
Digital.
does not count.
Digital. Oh, I'm on the digital cover of the Cut. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so you have one article on the Cut with
Right.
like a
That's
slightly.
That's called They Did a Blog About You.
They did a blog about you with, and they had a little
100%.
extra budget for a photo shoot.
Right.
That's embarrassing. You should
Yeah.
be ashamed of yourself.
I'm like, oh, they did. I'm like, they did a border. Okay.
Oh yeah, you use a different template in the CMS
Yeah.
to put the story together.
Yeah.
Everyone should feel some shame around that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it's just like, it's essentially just like you're telling the artist, like, oh, you like come, we'll give you a free photo shoot of like really sick photos that you can use.
Yeah.
you know,
and put it on your social.
on your Instagram,
Yeah.
and we'll like joint post whatever that feature is, the Instagram thing, so that you get followers from us and we get followers from you. I think that's like, yeah.
Amy Chozick wrote the Planet Hillary story. I did not know that.
a long and varied
random.
career.
I mean, she really has done so many crazy things.
I never saw her TV show.
Wait, what TV show? Oh, Wait.
Wasn't she the one who did that TV show where it was like about like an up and coming journalist like on the campaign trail?
oh, the Girls on the Bus.
Yes, that one.
Girls on the Bus.
Yes.
Yeah,
I made
not
into
a
that
thing.
Hulu show that I
Yeah.
watched 2 episodes of and decided
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was kind of bad.
I think
Yeah.
you and
Oh,
everybody else.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
no the bold type, that's for sure.
That's right.
Bold type, iconic series. Now
I
that
did good, kind of
that-
good at parts.
on the pulse
also-
of with actual journalism. You know what I'm
Also
saying?
launched the career of Megan Fahey, who is incredible,
Exactly.
stunning, wonderful in everything that she does.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Yeah.
who was the journalist who everyone freaked out that got mentioned in the bold type.
Rachel Syme.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Which, while we're at it, wear a book. Where's the book?
What happened to her in general?
She's at the New Yorker.
I think she's at the New Yorker, the ultimate failing up. We can keep this in.
Yeah.
Rachel
The New Yorker-
Syme, known hack.
Yes. Oh,
I mean, that's the thing about-
that's a story for After Dark.
That's the thing about the New Yorker, though, is that they have there are like dozens of people who are like New Yorker staff. There's like
writers.
New Yorker staff writers who are people
Yeah.
who like regularly contribute to the magazine and are like marquee names. And they're like, I'm a New Yorker staff writer. That is what I
Yeah.
do. And then there are like a whole bunch of people that are like New Yorker staff writer, and you like click on their profile and they've written like 2 things in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I forget. I think it was the big retrospective on the New Yorker effect or something. One of these big meta media features that had come out recently that was like, there was a New Yorker staff writer who had an office in the New Yorker offices for 30 years without publishing a piece. And
Yeah, I
every
think-
single day he would go into the office every single day, shut the door, and then not come out. And it was just like, yeah, that's,
I think that was Joseph
That's what they were
Mitchell, I
doing.
want to say.
yeah.
But don't quote me on that. I mean, yeah, the New Yorker used to be much more like that than it even is now, but it's still somewhat like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, must be nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Let's
either
I gotta
you're either
sing. I gotta sing for my supper 5 days a week.
Although to be
Yeah.
fair, like their offices are in One World Trade now, and I cannot imagine the fortitude it would take to like voluntarily go into One World Trade every day to not do anything. Like,
Also,
Yeah,
they probably
also,
have
if-
they probably have like way more open plan, like set up by now, so people can
Yeah,
really
what is
see
it-
you
I
not doing
really like-
anything in a different way.
I really like the spring mix at the Condé Nast cafeteria, and I gotta keep going in for my hit, Like
Oh.
that's they're doing it like no other. Triple wash,
Well,
ready to
knowing
serve.
that the vast majority of the quote staff writers at the New Yorker are just like independent
Yeah.
independent contractors, I wonder what the in-office requirement is for those people. Like, is Gia Tolentino going to the fucking, Condé Nast Caf every, 3 days a week? I don't
No.
think so.
Doesn't she like live upstate?
Who knows where she lives anymore?
Oh,
Who can keep track?
there's no office requirement for New York staff writers.
Yeah, I didn't
New
think
Yorker
so.
staff writers. Yeah, I don't think there ever has been. It's
Yeah,
like I
just
think it's like
just the proles.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like a prestige thing if they invite you into the office, right? Like
Yeah.
even if you're a staff writer, And also like half of them don't live in New York.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're
New Yorker.
upstate or they're in like different countries or states.
Yeah.
New Yorker my ass. Also, having been to the New Yorker office, not to brag, but it's like,
Whoa.
guys, it's just some regular ass office. Everyone's slumped over in a cubicle, and there's a bunch of
Yeah.
conference rooms with glass walls and windows. Like,
Yeah, that
offices
sounds
used
about
to
right.
offices used to have so much more character and like mystique. Yeah, I haven't been to the New Yorker, but I've been to other Condé offices, and it's like it's grim, man.
it's bleak.
Like if we're doing inside media scoops, it's all like semi-open plan where there's like cubicles, but they don't go up all the way. So like
Yeah.
sound travels exactly the same way as it would in an open plan office, and yet it's claustrophobic like a cubicle office. So it doesn't really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Media offices are weird now, man. They should be.
Yeah. They should be like the GMG offices on Fifth Avenue. RIP.
Was I at those ones? No, I was never at the Fifth Avenue ones. I came in on.
Yeah, you were.
17th Street.
you
No,
were.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say I was at 17th Street. I wasn't at the one before 17th Street.
Oh yeah, the
Right.
Elizabeth Street
I
one was
at the
cramped.
GMG Univision
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Which I kind of liked those ones. Those were kind of cool.
They were.
You could like see stuff. They had
were
the big
like
stairs.
objectively insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
the layout was
but-
fucking crazy, and like everything, and it was so freezing because everything was like concrete.
And vast.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah.
vast, but
I
lots
kind
of
of liked that though.
Yeah.
It wasn't as like soul sucking as like the gray carpet and like the like sun bleached outline of the BET logo on the wallpaper as the Midtown one.
No, I mean
Like,
the Geo Media Midtown office is without question the
where
grimmest
all
place
hope goes to die.
I have ever
including ours.
worked at in my entire life. Thank God we got shut down after only 6 months.
Yeah.
is that
moving
how
there.
long we were there?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was quite
Yeah.
an
They got
ignominious end.
They got rid of us
Oof.
lickety split. Even though, like, looking back, I'm like, was it only 6 months? Because it felt like about 75 years in there.
Felt
Yeah.
a long time.
It felt
A
interminable.
long time.
Wow. But luckily we went on.
Which is what's not feeling interminable? Discourse Blog, which celebrates 6 years today, Monday, March 23rd,
Wow.
2026. Can you
Wow.
believe it?
Wow.
We're still here, baby.
We were really
I
we were
literally
really
cannot
out of the
believe
gate
it.
fast on that.
I know.
Like
well,
the
Yeah.
pandemic only really started in sort of like beginning of March. When was that first? Like when did the city first like shut down?
think
when did
we
all first,
started-
It
like-
was like I think we started like maybe
the
like
week of
a
lockdown,
Yeah, something like that.
like or a week
That's right.
after. Yeah.
The craziest ass time. The craziest time to start anything.
Hey, we
Well,
were
but
on the
it was,
forefront.
it was
here.
a good time to start. None of us were doing anything else.
Yeah.
We didn't
We
have
were all
jobs.
just kind of like sitting around. Nobody had jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, did we invent Substack?
Yes.
Who's to
I know.
say?
I mean,
You know what I mean?
we did this before anybody else, and
Yeah,
that's,
including Defector.
and that's canon to me.
Yeah. I'll save
Sure.
Frasier to that.
I thank you. I will also say Frasier to that. Yes.
I'll give you that one for our birthday. Cros has no idea what this is about, but
No, nothing. No.
It's far too much to explain.
there's it's just a
I'm
common.
gonna let that one pass me by.
This is
That's fine.
podcast. This is podcast
Okay, that's
lore.
This is okay. This is 100% true story. I was at a dinner party on Saturday, and the topic of Discourse Pod came up. Not
Oh?
for me, which I've loved. It was organic, because the host is a listener.
Or just a listener or a viewer.
I
Also.
think just a listener.
Just a listener. All right. Well, all right. We'll take it either
know,
way.
But so I was like, oh well, like then the topic inevitably of I'll say Frasier to that came up. She was not a listener, like a detailed enough listener to have really cottoned on to that. So I was like, oh well, let me explain. And I was like, you go, I'll say Frasier to that, and she went, I might have to leave my own home. after you said that. So, I felt like that was a mixed reception. Then I said it again, and she reacted much better. She was like, "Please, why do you keep saying that?" But so
Well,
like,
what I'm hearing is that we have fans.
yes, that's the thing. That's the main thing.
We
to
have fans,
take
and
away.
we'll say Frasier to them.
Thank you. See, Cros
There
gets
you
it.
go. There you go. We need a
I
Stan
don't know if I did
Army
that right,
name.
but
No,
sure.
no,
You
you
know what I
did it. You
mean?
did it perfectly. You did it perfectly, Cros. Like everything
Wait.
that you do.
Is our fan community called the Frasers?
Oh
Like, that's how
my
you really know if
God,
you're a fan of the pod. Like you're a
Ah.
Frasier.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's make it
no.
happen. Tenant number 6.
Fortunately, I do feel like
Or 7.
people who are vaguely Frasier Crane coded are probably a core demographic of ours.
Exactly.
Which
Well,
I love.
I mean, not no. I think that might be the
Who among
7th
us?
tenant of this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Cros,
We're-
I know you don't keep up week to week, as neither do it. It's okay because neither does anyone else who comes on this show.
No.
We have what we call the core tenets of the podcast, and they are as thusly. Jack, help me. We one, we are anti-STEM. We don't believe in
Yes.
STEM because we think it is resulted in what STEM is what resulted in AI, and that is ruining the world.
Yeah.
By STEM, you mean
2
just the general concept of science, technology,
Yeah,
engineering.
we
and
have to
mathematics.
we have
okay.
to cut the STEM and get we need to
yeah.
reinvest in the humanities. Anyway,
Totally agree.
2
100%. Yeah.
2 Emerald Fennell is our least creative essential voice.
Yeah.
3
She's the one that did Horny Wuthering Heights?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. 3 is it Joni? Is Joni?
Yeah,
free?
Brandy Carlisle and
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Brandy Carlisle is holding Joni Mitchell hostage.
Yeah. Hashtag free Joni.
Hashtag free Joni. 4 anti-Italian racism is acceptable.
Yeah.
And then what's 5?
Endorse.
5 is Felicity Jones.
Oh yeah, Felicity Jones is a pox on this earth. Felicity Jones, the actress. And
What did she do?
Bad actress.
Nothing good.
Okay.
Nothing good.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
we usually
I think
have
I've only seen her in like a Star Wars property, so
Okay,
I
well,
can't really speak to that.
Yeah. Just say to yourself, wow, what was that really boring moment from the Star Wars movie? That's where Felicity Jones was in.
Felicity
it.
Jones came in. Well, we usually describe it as Felicity Jones acting disease when someone's doing bad acting. Anyway.
Yeah.
And now 6. If you're a real fan of this podcast, you're a Frasier.
Yeah.
There you have
Yes.
it.
We belong in hell. Anyway, let's move on to everyone's favorite segment, which I definitely don't forget about every week until I remember it's been about an hour into recording. Cultural recommendations. Jack, do you have one this week?
Okay, I was gonna have a different one, but I'm tossing that out. To say my cultural recommendation: watch Frasier, everybody.
Oh my god.
No,
Here we go.
I'm just kidding. That's not my real one. My real one,
JK.
my real one is one of the most Jack cultural recommendations I think I've delivered thus far on this podcast, which is I am currently listening to Liza Minnelli read her autobiography on audiobook.
Okay.
And boy, does she sound wild from second one through to
Is
the,
this
the
a
hours.
recent recording?
Yes.
recent autobiography?
Yes, it just came out.
I see.
She doesn't pronounce any of her N's. So she's like,
Oh.
I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Except she sounds, like 80-year-old
Like Liza Minnelli.
And
Okay.
I'm only like, I don't know, 3 hours in. But it's extremely entertaining so far if you're at all interested in like, wow, so wait, tell me again how crazy it was to have Judy Garland be your mother. Spoiler alert, super fucking crazy. Is it as good as what I consider to be the ultimate celebrity audiobook narration, which is Barbara Streisand's 48-hour reading of her memoir?
Did you love her singing The Way We Were at the Oscars?
You know that I did. No, it is not. But is it very entertaining, especially if you are someone like me? Yes, so that's my recommendation.
Incredible. Very Jack. Okay,
Extremely,
Cros,
as I said.
do you have something this week?
Ooh, well, Kara and I have been very into Summer House on Bravo. It's one of our sort of overlaps in taste in reality TV. Not that I can really claim to have much of a taste in reality TV, but when I do, it heavily skews towards dumb, young, drunk people who are horny for one another. I think I've said this before on many other podcasts. I really struggle with the other genre of reality TV, which is dumb, older women who are really drunk and sometimes horny for each other, but not really. Like I struggle a little more with like the housewives things, but so housewives, no. Summer House, yes.
Wow.
Very invested in everything that's going on there. It's been, I would say that this is to a far lesser degree than sort of like the Jax Taylor, Brittany shenanigans on Vanderpump. This is, I think, probably Bravo's greatest and most significant breakup that we're watching this season of Summer House since Ariana Madix. And whichever one of the Toms she was with, not Schwartz, the other one. Anyway,
Sandoval.
Sandoval, yes. There's a couple on Summer House, Amanda and Kyle, both of whom are kind of crazy in their own ways. Kyle, who is just one of the most, he's not as evil as Jax Taylor. Like, in fact, I'm not even sure if Kyle is evil in his heart in the way that Jax is. He's just very dumb and kind of bad, but he's a 43-year-old man has a failing hard seltzer company that he is floating by taking commissions.
What a
as
wonderful
DJ.
sentence.
Yeah. And he's an incredible person. And his wife, a woman named Amanda, hates him more palpably than any, it's one of those that is veered into territory of like where this is great TV to watch, but also, I feel a little bit sad for everyone involved. But we know now that like they do break up. They're both much happier outside of this. They have a good relationship despite not being married. Like there was nothing incontrovertible. But we just got a teaser earlier today. I don't know if it was Andy himself or someone from Bravo that was just like the upcoming episode, which airs tomorrow, shows Kyle worse than he has ever been in anything before. And to be clear, Summer House has been going on for like 5 seasons at this point, 5-6 seasons, maybe more. We've seen a lot of Kyle, and he's been very bad. And I think Kara's trying to tell me something. What? 10 seasons of Summer House?
Seasons, oh my God.
My wife has
Thank you for the
informed me that there are 10
action.
seasons of Summer House.
Also, hi,
so we've seen a
Kara.
full decade of Kyle, and this is I think we're building up to its apex. And so that is my
Okay.
cultural recommendation.
Wow. Already cultural recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of, I mean, as you two know, my general life outside of the pod has been absolute chaos this winter, but we have found some solace in watching Summer House and our big dumb New York City influencers. One of the key characters on the show is a man who his last actual job, I believe, was he was some kind of sports journalist for either Bleacher Report or SB Nation, properties of which, there is very little that remains, but he is still credited as sports journalist now, and he's a wonderful guy. I actually think we'd be great friends. Fantastic guy. I went out in the West Village this weekend, and I was really hoping that I would see him, but unfortunately one of the friends that we were with is obsessed with happy hours, and so we went to a bar that had a good happy hour but sat deep in the back even though the weather was beautiful outside. Because he wanted to pay, $9 for a well drink instead of 12. And that's, to me, it's not what the West Village is about. The West Village is trying to see if you can see a minor Bravo, like micro celebrity. Maybe this kid, Wes Wilson from Summer House, or like one of the people that are on that Ryan Serhant reality TV, Selling Manhattan or whatever it is show, like they could be there. They could be there at any time.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I
those are my
agree with
cultural
you
recommendations.
that fetishizing happy hour
Yeah.
is wrong.
West Village happy hour is the darkest sentence I've heard in
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
I'm
You
so
know,
Also,
sorry.
if
also
you're in
like
if you're in the right mindset though, Alex, if you're in the, if you're ready, like you gird yourself in the armor of God and are prepared to enter into, the fray of battle, I think that like it can be not so bad of a time, I
You
think.
heard it here first. Cros says, go to the Spaniard. Anyway,
Sorry about that.
my cultural recognition is similarly hearty and full-throated. Folks might have noticed that we did not have an episode last week, and that is because I was deathly ill. Because I went on a ski trip with a couple that has an 11-month-old baby.
oh my
And for those
goodness.
who are
There you go.
not accustomed to being around small children, they are little vectors of disease.
Oh
They are
yes.
constantly getting sick, and so that means everyone around them is constantly getting sick. I made it all the way to the night before we were about to leave, and the baby virus found me. And let me tell you, I haven't been rocked that hard in quite a long time. Really
And
tore through that home.
and that's
All
saying a
6
lot for you.
adults. All
That's
6
saying
adults, yeah.
That's saying a lot because you've had COVID like approximately 150,000 times, and every time it's terrible.
I really have. I had COVID
this-
the week of lockdown. You're probably wondering, how is this going to lead to my cultural recommendation? I'll get there. This disease had me by the throat for a good 3 days. I don't think I vomited that much in my entire life,
Wow.
and it led to other deeply unpleasant gastrointestinal issues. But through the fog and through the mist emerges a hero, emerges a solution, emerges a reason to keep going. It is the over-the-counter medication Gas X. Now, I am quite familiar with the other sort of pastilles, liquids, other common remedies for stomach issues. I ride hard for Prilosec OTC. I'm about that life. I rock some Tums, both the tablet and gummy form. I'm quite familiar with Pepcid. You know what I mean? I've tried all the various heartburn and indigestion medications.
I remember, crucially, you're a Pepto hater.
Listen, Pepto and we don't get along.
Oh,
Not typically,
see,
but
That's fair. I'm a Pepto loyalist.
I'm a Pepto guy.
Yeah.
Listen, in a
Yeah, I'm a
pinch,
Pepto guy.
you gotta pull out the Pepto.
Yeah,
And did I
but
buy a
We're
bottle of
stocking
Pepto?
Gas X too.
I sure did.
Gas X is a real one.
Yeah, but
But listen,
I don't do the chewables because I don't like that they like turn your tongue black.
Not a fan of that. Anyway,
Okay.
in comes Gas X, a product I had not familiarized myself with and whose game I had not recognized. Let me tell you, if you are in a state of, well, I'm done throwing up, but I can't quite eat anything, but my stomach feels ungodly full and bloated, like you might explode, try Gas X today. It really is crazy how instantaneously you will feel better.
Oh, Alex, I think
And-
you actually hit on one of the tenets that we did not get to, which is we are available for sponsorship by
Oh my
anybody.
God. You
Yeah.
are so right, Jack. Tenet 7 or 6 or
Yeah.
7. We are willing to compromise any of our values for the right sponsorship. That means Amazon Prime, OpenAI, pharmaceuticals. We don't care. Sponsor us.
And-
We're
Lucky,
cheap.
Raytheon?
We're affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Add them on in.
Come
Let
on.
them
We'll
know.
take the
Come
missile
on.
money. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll
Yeah.
take it. We don't care. We want to quit our jobs.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
I think that wraps this week's episode of Discourse Pod. Come back next week for all new episode. Wait, I gotta read my spiel. Hold on. I haven't done this in a whole week. I might have forgotten everything we have to say.
Yeah. Oh, you got to tell people to stay tuned for the After Dark segment.
Oh yeah, throw that in there too, producer Sam. Stick around if you're a subscriber. Thank you for listening to another episode of Discourse Pod. Please remember to like and subscribe wherever you listen to or watch us. And remember that if you're a subscriber, you can head over to the site, discourseblog.com, for an extended version of this episode with a bonus segment, special editions, and all of our written blogs. You can also link your subscription to Spotify and listen to and or watch us wherever you listen to podcasts, listen or watch podcasts. That's it. Come back next week for another episode. Bye.
Bye.
Discourse Pod is a production of Discourse Blog. I'm your host, Alex Chan. Jack Merkinson is my co-host. Our producer, editor, and art director is Sam Grasso. You can listen to every episode of Discourse Pod at discourseblog.com, on the Substack app, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.